Sometimes you wanna get high, sometimes you gotta start low. Some people think they're gonna die someday. I got news, I never got to go. Ba-da-da-dum, 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 ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-da-da-da. Here I come again now, baby, like a dog in heat. You can tell it's me by the clamor now, baby. I like to tear up the streets. Now I've been smoking for so long. You know I'm here to stay. Got you in a stranglehold, baby. You best get out of the way.
All right, Thomas Howe, here we go.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, oh boy. Oh my God. All sorts of great ideas. Devil voice ladybug picnic. All sorts of options with devil voice. Devil voice karaoke. Oh, these are all wonderful things that will probably be chalked up to Eric Zane Show podcast. Great ideas that never, ever happen. As you know, that's how I roll. That's how I roll. Welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the time. It's very special. Today is kind of an anniversary, I guess. They're all the days are starting to run together now, and now I'm losing track of firsts, if you will, and milestones. Let's see. It was... No, I guess not. I guess tomorrow would be the milestone of 3 years, 4 months to the day of podcasting. It was January. No. I am wrong again. Today is the day. You know, it's pretty ridiculous if I'm counting the months. Like, oh my God, it's like someone who announces their birthday too much. January 6, 2019 was when I did the first ever Eric Zane Show podcast right here with a cell phone and a notebook computer and an unfinished room. So there you go. It's funny. Strangely enough, a lot has changed since then, but a lot has remained the same. 3 years, 4 months to the day. Wow. I'll take it. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Each and every day of the work week, I start the show out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the whole thing runs on Twitch from beginning to end. But after the intro of sorts on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I then cut the cord and then send it along. I send you to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. It's a better platform. You can get more done on Twitch. Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, fine. But they have their limitations that I've outgrown you, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You are now only a vehicle to get more people to the Twitch stream. So thank you. Maureen is here. She has a son or daughter, don't know which one, who is 23 today. God, we are old, Maureen. We are so old. I noticed that my dear sweet friend, Bill Simonson, recently posted on his Huge Show Twitter feed, at Huge Show on Facebook, at Huge Show on Twitter, at Huge. This is how the Huge Show starts. Welcome into a Friday edition of the Huge Show. I'm the only show that tells it like it is. I'm the only show that values huge opinions. Call me up and you can share your huge opinion after we go to our croquet insider. And then we'll talk to our horseshoes insider. And then our bocce ball insider. And then our chess insider. But the huge question of the day, and this is the actual tweet. Would you pay $19.99 a month for all of the Wings, Pistons, and Tigers games on Bally Sports Detroit app? I would, and will do it when it launches. I wrote, well, first of all, the people that comment on that. First of all, Sarah Rookrug-Roosh commented on Bill's tweet. She wrote, No, I'm tired of paying for TV. That's what their advertisers are for. I'm paying a subscription. If I'm paying a subscription, I want 0 ads, just like at Eric Zane's show. Wait, I don't. Oh, you're talking about the Patreon. I see. So that's interesting. And she says, I don't know how to work a damn Roku. Yes, you do. You do know how to work a Roku. It involves this thing called reading. You know how, remember, for 3 years you didn't get involved in the Patreon? Because you were like, I don't get it. What? It's because you didn't try. Now look at you. Look at you sore. I'm getting various jokes about statewide web address. I just want to interview Bill and get full disclosure and ask the question, what do you mean by statewide web address? These people write $9.99 is more realistic. That's 25% more than Netflix. And all these people are like, yes, no. I wrote, they should take all this available content from streaming services, combine them into one thing, and price it accordingly. They could call it cable. Sucker. Yeah. The market is now saturated. All the individual channels have become streaming services. I mean, it was fine when it was one. When you could go, all right, you had Netflix. You had Disney Plus or Apple TV. And, even then it's starting to get a little wonky. All the while, I pay a lot of money for cable. People are like, son of a bitch, man. You're paying so much. Why don't you cut the cord? The fuck is wrong with you? You stupid idiot. You got to cut that cord. I go, oh, yeah, I know. I might. How much you pay for your cable? I go, I don't know. It's probably about $200 for internet and cable. Oh, fuck, man. I've got this one, and this one. How much does that cost? Well, if you add them all up, they're $400 a month. But it's worth it, man. I get the convenience of having it on my phone. And I go, well, I get that too. It's the Xfinity app. It has all this shit. And when I hit record, it goes to my phone. So I now feel like you should suck thy dick over this. So I'm back to I never did cut the cord, but now I'm a cord if I had cut the cord, I would have reattached the cord. I support mending the cord. Jacob Bennett is coming over my house today from Bennett Flooring Installation. This will be the second and third rooms. He will be putting flooring in. He did this office we have off the hall. Now he's going to go downstairs while Kyle is working in the basement. I'll say, all right, you two, you got to get along. Kyle, you prime the walls and then paint them. And Jacob, measure this room. Then he's going upstairs. He's measuring another room because Benny pissed on it. And Benny has this extremely nuclear urine. The dog just does not drink enough water. And he peed on the floor, and it was so bad. The smell was so bad. I cut the spot of carpeting up and just threw it away. Just trashed the carpet. Soaked in bleach, our beloved Stevie writes, what would the NFK do if you cut the cable? Oh, my God. Yeah, we got to keep it simple here. It's got to be turn the on button, hit the on button on the remote, and then channel up, channel down, channel up, channel down, and that's it. I support going back to old school cable. You will save money in my opinion. Adam the Odd says polished concrete in the basement, low maintenance. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Does Kyle listen to your show or call Diana and check with her after you leave? No, he does not. Nothing at all like that. All right. You won't believe this shit that happened to me yesterday. So I've chronicled the dynamic here in the neighborhood. My neighbor, these are some of the sweetest people on the planet. They are known as the Alleluia family. And I'm pretty sure that Mama Alleluia is the person who started the term Karen. Karen! Great Scorsese movie called Goodfellas. Have you heard of it? Karen, we needed that! Karen! Oh, my God, Karen! Pretty sure that the term Karen was created because of an interaction with my neighbor. Here in the neighborhood, I am the guy who has gotten so busy, as you know, there's no way in hell. Well, I struggle with things like cutting the lawn. Okay? I struggle, and that's the reason why Kyle is here right now, Kyle B., and why Bennett is coming over, because I finally waved the white flag. I said, I do not have the time to do these things. Money well spent. I am 1,000,000% on board. I'll be the first one to admit I was like, I think I can do it, but there's no chance. And then when the lawn gets long, it is not because I'm sitting around doing nothing. I'm going. I'm spread too thin. There's too much happening, but that's changing to some degree. Takes a little while. So the grass is finally growing. And I got out the lawnmower and I serviced it. I cleaned it, changed the oil, and I never do that. I changed the air filter on the thing, and it was in desperate need of maintenance. And this is a lawnmower that it says you will never buy another lawnmower when I bought this thing. And I'm challenging that. I think with my lack of maintenance on it, there's a chance that I could destroy this lawnmower. But I'm coming back now. And so the idea is And then I told you I've been spraying the Roundup on the grass, the Roundup that kills the weeds, not the grass. They have a product like that. And so I've been like paying attention to that. And then I got to put down my crabgrass preventer / fertilizer, and I have to do it like yesterday. Yesterday was my time to do it, and I had to get it done before the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. And so I got back from the gym, taking care of myself now, 4 days in a row. And then I go, all right, I got to get this lawn mowed, and I got to get that crabgrass preventer down now because it's going to rain tonight, and I need that to happen. So I'm like, all right, and I'm going to get it done, and then I'm going to get after the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, and it all went off without a hitch. Perfect. I was scrambling, but I got it done. So I'm mowing. It's in the 6 o'clock hour. Show starts at 7. At about 6:15, I bring the mower over to the dumpster where you put the lawn clippings, and Karen is out. And she's out with Brian, the Hallelujahs. And I shut the mower off. And she says, "Wow, are you feeling okay?" And I right away know exactly what she's doing. She's suggesting there's something wrong with me because I'm mowing the lawn before it gets unruly. And, I'm like, all right, shoot your shot. I can take that. And so she goes, "Wow, are you feeling okay?" And I'm like, and I just laugh. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, wow. And then as she says it, her husband, Brian Hallelujah, goes, Karen. Because he knows, as Adam says, passive-aggressive, much Karen. And so I'm just standing there, and I don't say anything, I was like, okay. And just laughed and continued doing my work. Got my crabgrass preventer down. And fast forward to this morning, I go, hey, guess what? Because Diana, she's a little bit more wanting to strangle this lady than I am. As I see the comments roll in, Dennis calls her a bitch. Come on. Aram says, I am not on Team Karen. Kenny says, ha, she sounds lovely. Corey in Maine says, take a big human dump right on her lawn. All right. Shrugged it off. And I told Diana, and Diana's like ready to kill. She's like, oh, my God. She goes, you should have told, you should have done this. And so, we were playing the shoulda, woulda, coulda game at that point. I was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Kenny says that's okay if it's Diana, but not a neighbor. Well, I just let it slide. But I'm like, now I know what they think of me. They think that I'm a loser. Brady fan 1989, which I don't know who anybody is here. I know who Adam the Odd is. I know who PRBY Amanda. That's Pure Romance something. Amanda Lynn. I know who that. I know who Dennis Goebel is. I know who Antelope Rider is. I know Kenny in Nashville. I know Chronic Mayhem. I know Boomer Bob. I don't know who Brady fan 1989 is. Says, 4 days in a row is great, but how's your diet? That's more important. LOL. It's horrible. It's horrible. But I'm just trying to get a week's worth of workouts in before I can, everything has been just a failure for quite some time. So one thing at a time. I'm trying to get a week's worth of appropriate workouts in the books. You know? One thing at a time. Still fat as shit. Brady fan 1989. Someone born in 1989 who likes goats. I get it. Greatest of all time. Radio voice Linda is here. Cocktail sauce MF. Give her a moon. Adam says, look, honey, the sluggard's treating his lawn. Let's mock him, shall we? All right. That's kind of like what was wrapping up my day yesterday. I felt like saying, yeah, I don't know. I'm just so busy. I've got so much going on. I'm caring for my brother-in-law. I'm trying to keep this business afloat. Takes all my time and energy. I work really hard at it. Sometimes I just don't have time. It's not like I'm sitting around. That would have been okay to explain that to her. I'm like, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. I'm just going to move on. But I knew I'd get some mileage out of it. I knew I would. Madison is coming home today. I have to wrap up this show, and I have to drive over to the college, pick her up, and get her back here. 1 year in the books, just like that. Just like that. Hard to believe. I just found out she's probably going to need some postgraduate work, so it's God. I have a story that I have to get into about forgiving student debt. Huh? We're going to kick that one around in a bit. Last night, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Several highlights. Saul, blind boy Saul, was here. And we brought up the topic about consuming edibles. Now, this is not anything that I'm interested in. But within seconds after discussing it, after bringing it up, various members of the audience were like reaching within arm's length and saying, yeah, here's what I eat. All these candies, and I'm not kidding you. There was 15 people there, and one member like grabbed them and said, "Hey, these are cookies I got." And another member of the audience has a sealed bag of gummies, and they're talking milligram amounts, and I don't know what any of that means. Someone says, "Oh yeah, each of these are 25 milligrams." Now, that to me doesn't sound like a lot, but I would take a whole bunch of those and put like several hundred milligrams in my mouth and eat them like candy. And it makes me wonder if that has ever happened since these product lines started to develop as years have gone on. If like the first guy who wanted it, he thought it was like the regular gummies that aren't laced with THC. And just did that. I mean, I wonder if that's ever taken place. Can you imagine the amount of how high you would be if you did that? Because I learned after the fact that just one of those gummy squares is very potent. You'd want to like break it in like a quarter or something like that. So Saul is like, oh, hey, I think I would like to try an edible. And we're like, okay. And so I said, well, Saul, I know you're, over 21, but I think you should ask your mother about that. I think you should talk to, because he lives with his mom. And, so then he disappears and comes back and he goes, I don't think I'll be trying an edible. And so I don't know if he had a discussion with her and she freaked out or what, but just the idea that event could have happened. I'm also realizing the large number of people that listen to this show that consume this stuff. Tyler says, does Saul realize what edibles are? I'm pretty sure. Brady fan 1989 says, I think you should consume edibles, Zane. I think it'll help. It'll help with what? What are you suggesting? That I'm in need? That I need help? No. That's fun to talk about. He says, I've read it helps with anxiety and ADHD. No, well, okay. Hold on. Stop right there. I don't need help with the ADHD. That is a superpower. You realize that, don't you? We would have no show if the ADHD was regulated to some degree. Hence, my discussion with my doctor when he looked at the results of my test that I took, and he goes, "Oh, you're extreme ADHD." And I said, "Oh, wow. What do I do?" And he said, "Nothing." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're 50 years old. You've adapted. There is no need to medicate this." I go, "Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of neat." And he said, "Okay." And so the anxiety also, my anxiety is in check. I'm good to go. If I would just refill my prescription, which was another talking point on the Benedict Patreon podcast. People who eat that take edibles, that is awesome. I think it's wonderful. But I'm kind of exempt from that because I have the whole sobriety thing. So I kind of can't, So I don't really desire to do that, and it frightens me, frankly, because then I already don't get anything done. Well, I mean, I get stuff done, but I get stuff done like in this room, like for the podcast. But I have to budget my time to be able to do things like mow the lawn, so that Karen can be impressed with me. But if I am consuming something that, alters my mindset, that might be just the thing that puts me over the edge, and nothing gets done except laughing and giggling and, whatever it may be. I would just rather not make my life any more complex than it is right now. But I appreciate the offer and the suggestion. Corey writes, I have an honest question. I have a question about addiction. If you were addicted to one substance, does that mean you have to stay away from all others as well? Well, for me, yes. And that's generally the thought process, Like if you go from one addictive substance, whether psychologically addictive or physically addictive, to another, you have to kind of find something that is not destructive to be addicted to. Some people go from addiction to alcohol to illicit affairs, and that's not good. Or chemicals or whatever. But generally, an idiotic brain like mine, probably good. I mean, even if you go from alcohol to cigarettes, some argue that, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Of course, cigarettes is probably not going to cause you to slam your car into a family of 5 and kill everybody, but it's still, a lot of times you go to those meetings and people are just smoking and drinking coffee, and it's like, oh, fuck, white knuckle ride. All right. And Kent makes a great point. Weed is not physically addictive. Correct. But I would love it so much, I wouldn't be able to stop. So it's like I would enjoy that feeling. And that's actually debatable. If you like something enough, you're going to desire to do it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like if you like the feeling of being high and you desire that, some would argue that is, you're drawn to smoke, or eat the edible or whatever because you like how that feels. That's the argument. Kent, I'm going to be seeing you very soon to pick up some flooring. You realize that. I need to have a powwow with the Armenian, too. I always like to see my people. Tell me you haven't fired him, right? He's stronger than a forklift. I have to make it a point to not, yell or scream because I feel my voice is leaving my body right now. Like if I start, I think it might have had something to do with singing Stranglehold in Devil Voice. Okay. I need to cut the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube audience loose. If you are enjoying this show at this moment as you get ready for work or whatever it may be, you got to go over to Twitch now. Okay? Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live or Twitch.com/Eric Zane Live. Eric Zane Live is all one word. Or download the Twitch app when you get a second. And then after you download that and you establish your little name there so that when you say something, I can see who you are. Find me, Eric Zane Live, and then we can enjoy this show live together every single day of the work week. Otherwise, download the audio podcast at your convenience and enjoy it that way. Have a good one.